Stu and Dave Do America presents Abdul versus OnlyFans.
Like, you think about if you're on Instagram, my team has access to my Instagram account. And like the things that I actually look at on Instagram, right? Of course, we get served that on your For You page. But then like every third video that scrolls on its own is going to be some OnlyFans model. And it's because it clocked me as being a 40-some-year-old man.
Is that how it clocked you there, Abdul?
Yeah, that's a bit strange. My algorithm is all antidepressant ads and guns. What's interesting is there were so many thoughts actually on his Instagram that his phone now has a crack on the screen because he tied it to a tree and stoned it. Two of the women were making out with each other, so he threw his phone off a roof. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all show.
Well, at least until they throw us off. Okay, let's talk about Abdul El-Sayed and so much more in politics as we do the Midwest socialist invasion. Welcome to Stu and Dave Do America. It is Stu Burguiere along with Dave Landau.
Ahoy, we meet again.
Thank you, Dave. We are going to see Dave all around the country. In fact, he's got tons of dates coming up. Dave, where should people go see you?
This weekend, I will be in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Hyenas. Next week in Glendale, Arizona at Stir Crazy. Traverse City, Michigan. Traverse City Comedy Club, August 21, 22. Blue Note in Hawaii, Honolulu. That's August 26th. And very important, September 25, 26, Salt Lake City, Utah. We're going to be at Wise Guys. What's important is there was a dry bar special I talked about. We're going to do that later. That still has to be negotiated. So just come out to the show September 25, 26. We're just going to do some fun shows, have a good time, little meet and greet. So come on out, Utah. I've been wanting to come there for quite some time.
Do people get to give you a hug when they arrive for the meet and greet?
If they want to, as long as it's a big bear hug,
okay,
and from a woman.
Okay. I mean, that's that again. You said it could be negotiated, so I think there's all sorts of things that can be.
No, men can hug me. It's cool.
It's cool.
I'm good. I'm very much a bi hugger.
By the way, we also have predictableshow.com on my side. If you want to go join us, we had an epic live stream last night with our premium subscribers, in which we found some really crazy stuff happened. I will say, we are now climbing the charts again on Substack. What are we up to now? Number 3 on Substack, rising in business right now. So we have 2 people in front of us. One of them went to all the trouble to describe their Substack as link in bio, which is
pretty riveting.
I feel like I should be able to beat that person, right? I mean, she's not even saying anything about her. She's just like, just check out the link if you want to do it. And she's still kicking my ass.
It's Rachel Carton. Yeah, I don't care for her. You got to beat her by the end of the week.
Okay, we'll work on that, Dave. Thank you so much. Also, join us at BlazeTV.com. Use the code Stu and Dave. Some big. We've announced a big signing. We can talk about that a little bit later. A new show coming over to Blaze TV that you're going to like a lot. BlazeTV.com/Stu and Dave. The code is Stu and Dave. The Michigan thing was kind of the big attraction yesterday, Dave, when it came to elections with Abdul El-Sayed in your home state of Michigan going up against Haley Stevens. I want to get to that in a second, but I want to turn the page a little forward first. I want to talk about the new one we're going to be talking about, the new socialist star on our horizon. Democratic socialists turn to Hong. Yes, Hong is here. Hong is in Wisconsin with hopes for their next big win. Now, I don't think people in Wisconsin love socialism. The polling doesn't say that. The Wisconsin poll finds that voters view Democratic Socialists unfavorably. Marquette Law School poll shows about 31% of voters view DSA candidates favorably. More than half view them unfavorably, 54%. And a bunch of people don't know anything about what they're talking about. I don't know. I kind of came to this point where It seemed like for a while we had a good 30, 40 years, Dave, where people realized that socialists and communists murdered about 100 million people in the previous century. And you'd think that would be enough to turn people off for a while. Apparently, it's only 30 or 40 years, though.
That's right. People seem to have forgotten about it. And in that ad you just showed, she does not care for holidays like Thanksgiving. She actually has a lot of different tweets saying she doesn't like any holidays because they all appropriate culture, except for Halloween. That one seems to be fine. I'm a little surprised it didn't appropriate goblin culture, but whatever. But yeah, you would assume that after a while you would realize that socialism is bad, or that it didn't work out in places like Iran. I call it Iran because I'm cultured, where the liberals and the socialists kind of joined hands and then they murdered all the liberals. But that's fine. You know, I think it's good to forgive and forget, but mostly forget, so it happens over and over again as history repeats itself.
I'm thinking we should just start dropping copies of the Black Book of Communism out of planes onto crowds of people who go to these socialist rallies, so maybe they'd learn something about how this has worked out over and over and over and over again. It's been kind of a problem. It's the one thing you can see, Dave, when you look at life expectancy globally. When you look at that chart, the one thing you can see in there is the dip every time the communists get control of a new country. The populations just drop all over the place.
Well, when you murder people at a younger age, it tends to then mix with the people that die of old age. And then, you know, you obviously have to divide it. You have the remainder, which is usually a lower number when you kill so many people. But, you know, I'm not an expert. I just know if you look at the history and the math, it seems to be a very bad idea.
With all this information, what you might expect would be a candidate who believes in all of these things would be losing, particularly not in I don't know, California or New York or Massachusetts or Vermont or whatever, but in Wisconsin, where you'd maybe think there'd be, it's kind of a purplish state, right? But Hong is ahead by a lot. Look at these polls, Dave. Hong plus 25, Hong plus 29, Hong plus 20, Hong plus 13, Hong plus 8. All wins for Hong, and she's extended that lead all the way to now 25 points. And by the way, in that last poll where she's up 46 to 21, Dave, the person behind her has now dropped out. So she's up by, I think, even more, and is now seemingly just cruising to this nomination for the Democrats in Wisconsin for governor.
Yeah, it seems that she may win. And so far, everything I've read on her, it seems awful. So she just seems like she's not a nice person on top of it. If I'm just being honest, just unlikable. And I'm just going off of that.
Yeah, that's honestly a good way to judge candidates. Frankly, it's how a lot of voters judge them, even if you don't know their policies. Let's get to meet her a little bit, though. I mean, we can't just say that about a person, Dave.
That's true.
We need to show.
We should meet her.
Let's meet her.
Yeah, let's show.
Look, you might say, talking about proximity to whiteness is a little bit crazy, woke, a 2021 sort of concept. But it's something that she believes strongly in, despite the fact that her own kid is half white. Here is Hong talking about whiteness.
I wasn't always aware of the struggles of other communities of color because for me, assimilation always kind of took over. And so I did marry my proximity to whiteness continues, right? I'm my son is biracial. He's half white and half Korean, and I think navigating, what his identity is and how people perceive him is always at the back of my mind as well.
I mean, can you imagine saying that about your own kid?
No, her proximity to whiteness is about 5.5 inches, first of all. And secondly, her proximity to whiteness should be court ordered and supervised for saying something like that. And what I don't get about these people is they're always like, we must dismantle this racist system of, white supremacy that disempowers the LGBTQ+. Also, this is my husband, Chad.
Right. who is ruining
Every
the country,
time.
who's destroying our society. Good old Chad over here. I had, by the way, the choice of all Asian people, all other minorities, but instead I chose Whitey. How often? We see that a lot. I gotta say, we see that a lot. Maybe us white people are
A
great.
lot of them. Every one of them who seem to hate white people introduce you to their husband, Kyle, and you go, so are you really that upset about this? Like, I don't believe you at all. And she's like, I had no idea that whiteness was an issue. I feel like you've been complaining about it for a while.
Yeah, it's weird. Why does your husband seem like he could open up for Morgan Wallen? I don't understand why exactly this keeps happening, Dave, but it does over and over again. And again, I mean, maybe we're a broken record on this, Dave, but like the truth of the matter is, the way to solve racism is to stop making decisions based on race. That's the way to solve it. The way to solve it is to not make different decisions based on race. It's not to say, well, that group is evil and we should kill all of them. That's not the way to solve this, though that is what the Ibram Kendis of the world and our good friend Hong here seem to believe. If we just turn the discrimination and turn the racism and turn the hate toward the right color, everything will be solved.
Well, exactly. That's the problem. And do you want to be talking about your own kid's ethnicity like they have lupus? It's not a good thing. Where you're like, look, I have a child at home who's special. They're half white. Like, what? It's your kid.
It's your child, and your child is going to grow up to be an insane person because there's no way to survive that. Maybe, look, I shouldn't say there's no way. There's miracles all the time, but it is you're really setting that up against a difficult obstacle course to get through, to just be normal in our society when you're teaching them things like this. It's beyond being a terrible governor, it's being a terrible parent.
Right, but you don't want Tiger Mom breaking his fingers because he's not playing the gong properly. I'm sorry, the piano. I'm sorry, the violin. I'm trying to find an instrument that's not racist. The electric guitar, the keytar.
Yeah, the
Never
keytar.
mind.
I think the keytar works.
Keytar.
The keytar works.
I've seen some Asians in Austin play the keytar. They're really good.
Yeah, look, they're good at playing instruments. This is a positive stereotype, not a negative
cello
one.
work?
Cello.
Okay.
There you go.
No,
like
cello's not one either. No. Upright bass, same thing.
Now, you might say, you mentioned the Thanksgiving situation, which was one of the things that got us sort of going on this particular candidate because of the things that they say it's so insane. They can't even embrace the best things about our society. And of course, you're going to hate a country if you are turned off by every positive thing that goes on there. Let me give you this.
Yes, like slaughtering a bunch of Indians and having a meal.
I mean, look, the start of Thanksgiving is a little separated from my personal experience with it and everyone alive and their personal experience.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I thought we wear feathers around my table.
Yeah.
And we talk smack about Indians and then we have corn. Which we call Maine.
Oh, do you really?
Yep.
Now, you might think...
No offense if you're Indian.
You might think it's a very... I like that you throw in the no offense. That solves all of the problems.
Exactly.
I know that it would be weird to see a major candidate from a major party say that they don't like Thanksgiving. That would be a very strange thing to see. But a much more rare and crazy thing I'm going to show you in this clip is CNN actually calling them out about it. Here is Caitlin Collins.
Was a post from you in 2021 where you said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621. The post has been deleted. Republicans have been highlighting it. Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
I'm a chef, and one of the first meals that I made that was for the community when I was 16 was a Thanksgiving meal. I always think my hospitality background in owning a restaurant for 7-8 years, that bringing folks around the table to share conversation and build community is always a good thing. But Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are multiple views, but views can evolve. The position that I'm running for right now, and I think my background as a chef, will actually help me become a better governor that's able to bring more people to the table.
It's amazing they just can't say no. Of course it shouldn't be canceled. I was just being a wise ass. Like they can't just be, I'm not saying that's honest because her opinion is she wants it canceled and that's her real opinion. But at the very least, as a competent candidate, just say, no, I mean, I was just busting on people. I was being a wise ass. That's why I deleted it. That would be such a better answer.
But what makes even less sense is that she was once a chef will make her a better governor. That's like me saying that because I was once a stock boy will make me a better electrician. There's no parallel between those two things. Also, I'm sorry that in the 1600s they didn't share the values that you had in 2021. Are you kidding me?
So stupid. Can I focus on one little part of minutia of her response here, Dave? Because I found this riveting. Because she says, Thanksgiving is a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. Let's be honest about it. That's just not a true statement. It's not. No. Yeah. You know what? Like we had a beloved relative who passed away on Thanksgiving, and that does bring a little bit of darkness to it in a way. Like it just sucks, right? Like when Thanksgiving comes up, I talked to her spouse. And his spouse, excuse me, and she would be broken up about it. It sucked. However, it's still a positive thing and a great group of memories for almost every single citizen in our society. So shut up. It's not true that it's a time that's incredibly painful for many in our communities. But she says this, Dave. I also think that that there's. I wanted to make sure that that people understood that there are multiple views. She doesn't say what her view is. And then she says, but views can evolve, implying that her views have evolved. But she doesn't say that they have. She just says that they can. Like in theory, a view can evolve, which is true. But she doesn't say that her views are evolved. And then she moves on to just say, well, I think my background running for this race and my background as a chef will make me a good governor, which, as you point out, is just logically bonkers. But like, she's not saying she's changed her view. This is just her swimming around all the poles in the pool to try to navigate herself to a safe answer.
Yes, it is, and which is a non-answer every single time, like you said in the beginning. Like, also, it's not an incredibly painful time for Americans. It's where Americans get to, unless you don't like your family, then it is. But I mean, for the most part, Americans get together. You watch a parade, you watch some football, and you eat food. And the only time it's painful is if you eat too much. It's not really a painful holiday. You're sort of just celebrating the country in a way, but it's just a day where it's an excuse to get the family together and eat.
Yes.
It's really all it is. Like, let it go.
It's a
like,
lot.
I understand, yes, the beginning roots of it, but also this is how the country was built. Yes, it was going to be taken over by us or Spain. Let's all grow up and just realize that's what happens.
It's ancient history, and like, look, we can all look back at things that we've done that were incorrect, and what you do is you learn for them as a country. And I will say, you did leave out a very key detail of pain around Thanksgiving, which I do need to point out, because it can be very painful on Thanksgiving Day if you're a Detroit Lions fan.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, it might be, again, my show is predictable, so maybe I'm a little predictable, but it is true. I watched a lot of those games, Dave. I was always rooting for the Lions. It was very painful. Okay,
No, but you're right, though. She should understand if she wants to appropriate my culture, she needs to bring it up.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
She doesn't know what it's like to watch your team lose every single year.
Oh, it's tough. It is. It's a tough one. Let me go to another clip here. We've got a couple more from our good old friend, Hong. She, there's a little bit of a back and forth, Dave, about the phrase 86 Trump. And I grew up, one of my first couple jobs was working as a server at a restaurant, and 86, a very common term. Like, I was used to it. You write 86 the cheese on a sandwich or whatever. That's how you say, I don't want cheese on the sandwich. And I do think,
and I've been 86'd out of bars.
Right, many, many times, I would assume.
So I understand.
Yeah, there is a somewhat innocuous meaning of it. I do think people that say 86 Trump, there is a split. There are some who just mean get him out of office. We don't want him in politics. I don't want him as president anymore. I do think some people use it that way. And I do think some people use it in a much more aggressive way. The mob, famously, there was, the hidden tapes of them saying 86 Franco, and then they'd wind up executing the guy in the streets. So it could mean either thing. with that setup, Dave, you tell me which one does our friend Hong mean in this particular clip?
In the restaurant industry, when we're out of something, we say it's 86th. And I'd say it's about time we 86 Trump. He represents the utter failure of our government to keep us safe from threats, both viral and systemic.
It's pretty aggressive 86 there, Dave. What do you think?
I'm even playing devil's advocate. I'm going to go violent.
Yeah. Kind of feels
it seems
that
a little
way.
violent. I mean, it's certainly passionate. She could mean just get him out, but I don't know, because she's being recorded. I know there's the plausible deniability, but I think it could be, she could mean both too. She could mean either way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she seems a little, wormy with her language, right? Like the same thing with like, oh, well, views can evolve. Okay, thanks for that input on what can happen theoretically with humans. What's your freaking view on the topic, lady? And she says, see, a lot of times socialists are like this too. They won't do what I suggested that you do for the as a candidate. If I was advising her, I'd just say, if they ask you about if Thanksgiving should be canceled, say no, of course not. It's a great freaking holiday. I was just being a wise ass. They can't do that because they never want to abandon their actual beliefs. They want to kind of find a way to still embrace those beliefs without actually saying it. And it's pretty common with socialists. I think that's the thing there.
Well, yeah. You also don't have to use the term 86. You could just say we have to get him out of office if you want to be specific about it. And you're not just trying to dog whistle to one side while trying to sort of placate to the other.
Yeah, dog whistle is exactly what she's doing there. She's kind of opening for all you people who want him dead. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. And again, I will remind people, they may have forgotten, the guy's almost been killed in front of her eyes multiple times. So maybe not the guy to joke about or allude to his assassination. Just a quick recommendation to people.
That's not just from McDonald's. That's from bullets.
It's true. It's very true. It's even more overt than the Big Mac attack that he's been surviving for many, many decades. Let me give you one more here. This is, standard crazy socialist fare at some level. Should we have police or not? Another difficult question. But views evolve, Dave. Let's see what Hong has to say about that.
Police officers enforce the law with state-sanctioned violence and then get excused for violating people's rights because they aren't expected to know the law. Minneapolis police spent nearly $5 million implementing trainings, increasing diversity, repairing to strengthen frayed relationships between cops and communities. It didn't work. We have to dismantle police unions and qualified immunity and start funding social services that work with domestic abuse cases, family services, and public education.
Yeah,
our state needs to ensure resolutions and accountability boards where the decision-making power is in the hands of representatives of those communities. And each city should have local control of how they dismantle their police systems to rebuild new community control systems rooted in preventative care and reducing harm. Defund the police, protect Black lives, and build a care community. This is what we need.
That's blatantly being read, Dave. I mean, she's reading that. That's not an off the top of her head thing. And she still gets to defund the police. A lot of that is just a bunch of socialist nonsense that didn't really say anything except, I think, send like social workers to investigate domestic violence crimes. What do you make of that?
Unarmed social workers, I think, are the best case scenario for any society to feel protected. If there's anybody in your house who's going to hurt someone, or if there's a hostage situation, unarmed social workers, I think what she's saying makes perfect sense. I'm all about it. She's good. I think you should vote for the most stupid, dangerous, jackass thing possible. I'm right on board. I actually saw an interview too where it said in 2023 she said she was bipolar, cut herself, was in a mental hospital, and OD'd on lithium. So if I wanted that for a governor, I would just run.
Wow, this could it be your campaign platform, Dave?
It's sad I have so much in common, yet except any political ideology whatsoever.
That's what
I feel like I respect the crazy, but she's not going in the right direction with it.
I feel like a debate between you and her ends with somebody jumping off a bridge at the end of it. There's just not.
But again, it's
optimism.
It's the same though as her marrying a white guy. She's the same person who would go, "I don't want police, but I don't want police. I don't want borders, but I want to live in a gated community with security guards near a police station, married to a guy named Todd. That's what she wants.
Yep.
But for you, she doesn't. You don't need police. She does, but you don't need police.
The best for me, but not for thee. That's look. This is always what happens with these candidates. It's the same story over and over again. It's happened throughout the Black Book of Communism. Go through it. None of those people were putting themselves at risk. None of those leaders were like, they're all protected very nicely.
Yes, the literal definition of socialism, in a way, is that we get all this protection and power. You get nothing.
Very, very true. I want to get to another socialist who won last night. Yes, Abdul and his OnlyFans account were victorious in Michigan in a very close race. We'll get to that next. One of the strangest things about the modern world is that you can own something without, really like holding it personally. Like your bank account, that's yours, right? But kind of they're holding it for you. Your retirement account, it's in some other organization. Your airline tickets, even like they're not in your hand anymore. Even your house. The proof is that it's not in a safe. Like the proof doesn't exist in a safe anymore. You don't have all your documents, do you? It's in some record in some database somewhere. And if somebody manages to tamper with that record, you're suddenly dealing with a problem you never saw coming. That's why Home Title Lock caught my attention many, many years ago. They help monitor your home's title and alert you to all sorts of changes that could be signs of title fraud. This is a big growing crime that you need to avoid. The earlier you know something's going on with this, the sooner you can take action and fix it much more easily. The longer it goes, the worse it gets. To criminals, paperwork is just as valuable as breaking a window. You need to stop them before it starts. So use the promo code Stu and Dave at HometitleLock.com, HometitleLock.com. The code is Stu and Dave. You get a free title history report, a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. It's 24/7 monitoring of your title records. It's urgent alerts to any changes. And if fraud does somehow occur, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. It's HometitleLock.com. The promo code is Stu and Dave, HometitleLock.com. Stu and Dave is the code, or use the link below.
Like you think about if you're on Instagram, my team has access to my Instagram account. And like the things that I actually look at on Instagram, right? Of course, we get served that on your For You page. But then like every third video that scrolls on its own is going to be some OnlyFans model. And it's because it clocked me as being a 40-some-year-old man.
Yeah, that's just like we played that clip earlier. It is amazing. I will say, just on Instagram, it doesn't matter what you look at. They're going to serve you good-looking, probably younger people than you. That is just a thing that occurs on Instagram. I know this because I went through, I asked the guy who does my tech stuff at one point, like, how do I get like this stuff just keeps popping up. How do I get rid of it? And I went through, you have to go through like the recommendation page and like click, no, not interested, not interested, not interested. Like, of course, am I actually interested? Yes, I am, but I would like to not look at it. But also, my kids will pop on the account from time to time. I don't know what the heck they're going to see. And so I went through and did all that. I've done it a couple of times. They really want to force that type of material through to you, no matter what your freaking algorithm says.
I'm just worried to just send you dudes.
It's true.
I don't want, whatever. I really don't. I don't know about that. I just remember when our politicians used to lie well,
right?
And we're at a point now where I just don't believe them at all. Like, why not just say mine's pretty girls every other one?
I suppose I will say if you're gonna do this and you're a candidate, you don't use your official candidate account. Like you got to get a burner.
Let's just go through mine randomly. I'm not even checking it. Ready?
Yeah.
We got stand-up comedy clips, comedy clips, politics, a watch, politics.
Pretty clean. Stand-up comedy clips.
Eddie Murphy, stand-up comedy. Did you see any whores yet? Nope. That's my friend Kelsey. She's doing stand-up. The show Jackass.
So pretty clean. It's interesting because
for anybody who wants to look, I'm just saying, I'm not as big of a perv as you all probably think.
I do think you're a big perv, but not in a way that I just think that it's a situation.
I'm not afraid to show.
No, look, I don't. Do I have my?
I just blindly proved it. I hope yours is all dogs getting blown. Yours is just
let's
like
see. We've got
account
Blue Jays
suspended for bestiality.
How do we go to this one? Home. There we go. Dude, perfect.
Dude, perfect.
I have kids.
So your kid's definitely been on yours.
Yep. Toronto Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Matic Robots Vacuums. That's definitely checks out.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at this guy.
Oh,
look at this guy. It's Dave Landau.
Stand-up.
It's Dave Landau right there.
Too. Dave's cartoon. You should check that out, America.
Blue Jays. This is kids baseball videos.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, my son's got that upstairs. My son was just watching that video, the exact one you just scrolled by.
Really?
See,
that's
we don't have thoughts every other one as two adult married men.
Right. I guess it's true. I mean, I do think it does feel like if you go into now, that was my feed. That's the people that I follow though, right? Like I never go into the For You section, but it seems like when you go into that, and this is on Twitter as well. Like if you watch a video and it ends, you scroll to the next video and it's always something like, I don't know. Look, maybe they're in my head more than I think, but like it'll be a random movie clip I've never seen before. Then it goes into, and then like a lot of them, obviously, I would assume the videos with attractive people in them wind up performing better, right? Like that's just a thing that is true about the internet. Like, so I think but I've never seen an OnlyFans model in there though. They're usually just like, pictures from a movie and like, oh gosh, well, there's Jessica Alba in a movie. She looks great. Like, of course people are going to like that a lot.
Yeah, I've had that pop up. I think the only time an OnlyFans model popped up is when you and I were specifically discussing the Jamie Priestley OnlyFans model. And then all of a sudden they popped up for a couple days.
Yes, that is the way that works. Okay, well, I mean, I certainly didn't want to get into a battle defending Abdul El Sayed. That was not my intent.
No, we're not defending him. We're proving that he's a liar.
I guess we did do that.
We just did it just now. We proved he was a liar.
We did, and it also proved
with our own decent Instagram feeds.
Also proved that I follow Dave Landau without any prep at all. I just want people to know that I'll follow Dave Landau.
If you go to stuff. If you go to stuff I like, you will see that Predictable is liked almost every video I have liked.
I will say that I do see your name in the likes, and I do appreciate that, Dave. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let me give you a little bit of background here on this actual race, by the way, not necessarily the pervy intents of Abdul El Sayed, but certainly his version of governance is pervy. He won the Michigan Democratic Senate primary. Now, he was favored by low double digits. I thought he'd probably win in high single digits. What wound up happening is he wound up winning by less than 1 point. This is a little bit old. This count 48.5 to 47.5 is what this one shows. I think it even got within a point before they actually finalized the count. Pretty amazing considering what the polls were saying, Dave. We did, but you mentioned Predictable. We did very, very well on Predictable last night because we bought Haley Stevens to win. I think it was mine was 1.35% chance for her to win, and wound up riding that all the way up to 20. She got up as high as 29% and sold at 29%. So we made like over 2,000% on some of the shares that we had last night. That was a lot of fun. If you want to be involved in that, predictableshow.com. Join us if you like politics and you're like, hey, why not profit off of this a little bit? I will say we've had a blast so far during this primary cycle. Here is El Sayed, Dave, talking last night and discussing his serious battle through all of the trials and tribulations he's had to face trying to get this nomination.
I want you to remind them that if we come through this, when we come through this, inshallah.
Inshallah.
That will have taken $70 million on the chin and kept fighting back.
Speaking of OnlyFans models, so inshallah, Dave, means I guess God willing. I for a minute I thought it meant my struggle, but apparently no, it means God willing.
No, no. I find it interesting for all the people who want religion left out of politics. They're weirdly quiet right now.
Great point. Yeah, I haven't heard
And
word one about that.
Yeah, and what I meant earlier with Iran and the socialism in Iran and the liberals, I meant more the Islam and the liberals in Iran. But same thing applies here, is where they murdered them.
Yeah, and remember too, Iran, and I kind of thought this is what you're referring to as well, because I know what you mean. But Iran worked closely with Nazi Germany. At that time, they had a very closely aligned, even though they didn't have the same religious beliefs at all, they had a very closely aligned, I mean, the formation of that country goes back to an Aryan sort of founding. It's a long story, but we'll get to that in a second. Anything else we should get to? Cori Bush lost. Do you remember Cori Bush at all, Dave? She was in the squad with AOC and Ilhan Omar.
Yes.
Yeah. She's kind of a nut job. And I this is my biggest miss of the night last night on Predictable, by the way, because I thought she'd have a chance. She's a socialist. She's crazy, Democratic primary. Thought she'd do well. She got just murdered in this race politically.
Yeah, it might as well have been Ike versus Tina. It was quite a beating.
It really was. She won her primary. Wesley Bell won against her. I think she lost by 5 last time. This time she lost by like 50. So I thought she'd be much closer than that. Let me give you a little snapshot of her concession speech before we go to break here, Dave.
If we don't hold, as he goes back in for another 2 years, if we don't hold him publicly accountable, if we go back into our areas and we're quiet, then that's a failure of ours. I'm not worn out. I'm not tired out. I'm not beat up. I'm not sat down. I'm not silenced. Because what I am is that same fighter that stood up for you before. I don't have to have a title to fight for my people, St. Louis. And I'm not just coming for AIPAC. This ain't even about AIPAC. The billionaires, the corporations that think they're people, that's who I'm coming for.
So she's not just coming for the Jews, Dave. She's coming for multiple other groups. That's good to hear.
Yeah, now after seeing that, I feel it shouldn't have been that close.
I know. It's amazing, though. I kind of thought that's honestly what the left wanted these days, was a crazy person yelling crazy things. That's kind of what I thought they wanted. Apparently, in this particular race, they went with somebody else who's just a bad politician. So that's where we are in that one. I want to take a break, Dave. We have Rosie O'Donnell is making her way back to The View, my guess very slowly and waddling her path to that particular establishment. We'll get into that next.
Yes.
Look, our country isn't perfect. We had 250th birthday. We love celebrating it, but we should acknowledge the really bad mistakes we've made. Slavery, absolutely horrible, right? However, just maybe slightly less horrifying than that is the fact that we are a nation that has given The View 30 seasons. That is among the worst things ever said about a nation, and I can't believe it's true. I'm embarrassed to be an American today, Dave.
It's a failure of a society. Jimi Hendrix didn't stay with us that long. Kurt Cobain did not stay with us that long. It's a shame. It's a real shame.
It really is. It's very, very true. 30 years of this horrible television program that continues to be on the air. And they were like, how can we make this worse? Like, I feel like since about season 3, they've been trying to get the show canceled by putting the dumbest people that are the dumbest examples of human beings possible on the air over and over and over again. And they're saying, how can we make this worse? Well, Rosie O'Donnell has confirmed she's coming back to the show.
Which is crazy also, because I would have assumed the cutting of USAID would have canceled the show immediately. But also that didn't happen. So now they're bringing back Rosie, which I'm guessing it must be for the eye candy. They just need to spruce it up to draw in male viewers to bring in a sweet piece of ass like Rosie O'Donnell.
Because that is exactly what she is.
The Oliver Platt of women. Just a gorgeous, funny. Oh man! Remember when she had a talk show? That was another.
That was great.
Oh, and she pretended that she was in love with Tom Cruise because they were both pretending they weren't gay.
It was what a wonderful time that was. By the way, Dave, do I remember this incorrectly? Didn't she move out of the country because she hated it so much? Like pretty recently? Am I thinking of somebody else?
No, that was her. Ellen also left. Apparently, they both went to a similar location in the UK, and it turned out the UK didn't want them either.
Why would they? But like, I find that amazing, right? Like, I hate this country. It's so bad. I can't. I have to get out of here. Oh wait, you'll pay me multiple millions of dollars to do a TV show? See you in New York. It's pretty pathetic.
Well, what I love is Trump actually really did hate Rosie O'Donnell and talk all kinds of smack about her. So it's the only one that was kind of justified to leave. Like her feelings were hurt so bad she left.
Yeah, I guess if the president had despised me that much, I might at least consider getting out of town.
It was the only one that was personal, which I find hysterical. But now for the right price, she's going to come back. And I don't know if it's for just the 30th anniversary special or they're going to keep her around. But either way, it's just a whole new reason for me to continue never watching The View ever for any reason, unless we have to pull a clip to mock it.
The worst thing that could have happened on this show, Dave, is I started scrolling through my Instagram feed and The View popped up. That would have been way more embarrassing than any OnlyFans model.
Oh, well, you may have been called up to the offices at that point.
All right, you're going to take a break.
Have a word.
Come back in a second, and hopefully we'll try to clear your brain of all the terrible thoughts you've had about Rosie O'Donnell in the last 30 seconds. One of the easiest ways to make a mistake when you're buying a home is assuming that you're only buying a house. The truth is you're not. You're also buying the neighborhood, and you're buying the commute, and you're buying the school district, and you're buying the neighbors who you maybe haven't even met yet. You're buying every little surprise that comes out of that whole transaction. And that's why having the best real estate agent matters so much. A good agent doesn't just unlock the front door and tell you how nice the kitchen is. They know the local market. They know what to look for. They know what questions to ask, which is really, really important. What potential problems deserve a closer look before you sign anything. That's why our own Glenn Beck started Real Estate Agents I Trust. It's a neighborhood of experienced agents who have earned their reputations by helping people navigate one of the biggest financial decisions they'll ever make. They also have earned their reputations by working hard and closing great deals for people who use them. Look, you're not just buying 4 walls and a roof. You're choosing the place where a big part of your life is going to happen, and that's realestateagentsitrust.com. Go there, get the best agent in your area. Plus, it's a free service to you, realestateagentsitrust.com. Now is a great time to join Blaze TV. Go to blazetv.com/Stu and Dave. There, you can get $20 off your subscription. If you are smart enough to type Stu and Dave in that exact order with no spaces in your promo code location, you get $20 off your subscription to the Blaze TV. And a big announcement, I think it was yesterday, Nick Freitas is joining the Blaze. He's got a huge podcast, very, very well known in the conservative space. He built this thing on his own, and now is hopefully going to, he's coming to the Blaze, get him to even a bigger audience. So that's really, really exciting, and he's going to be part of your Blaze TV subscription deal. That's kind of big news.
It is big news. It's very big news, and it's a show that I happen to enjoy. And I think if you join us, you're going to enjoy it too. That's a lot of joy.
That's very much a lot of joy. A lot of joy happening all across the country with Dave Landau as well. DaveLandau.com for tickets. I see Albuquerque on the board, Glendale. You've got, Key West. I will say the Honolulu Key West thing is a little suspicious. It seems like you're just going on vacation, but that's a whole another story.
Maybe.
And join us at predictableshow.com as well. New episode coming up today. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.